Why do you keep on trying to bother her? What?
Holy shit, the door just slammed. Are you a demon? What was that?
Say that again.
I say yes.
Or are you What is going on? Alright guys, what is up? This is the Cryptic Heartland podcast, episode number 88.
It is?
That's what they tell me.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Who's this person next to me?
Hell, I don't know. I thought you were him.
I kind of feel weird.
How's it going, Jason? Did you guys miss me?
Who are you again?
Yeah, I don't know who this person is right now.
It's been a while.
It's been
Oh
like
my
20
God.
episodes and you haven't been here.
Yes, we do have a...
20?
No.
That's right.
No.
We do have a special guest who's not so special. Well, he's special.
You take that however you want to take it.
Special K.
The man has returned. Yes, that is Roth, Chris. You're not seeing an
What's up,
illusion.
Chris?
He does exist. Yes, Mr. Bob and Luigi is here.
The man who gets his name called out every location we go to.
By
To
the
spirit
ladies.
box.
It's crazy. Did you guys talk about that, the last one?
Oh yeah, we've been talking about you a lot.
All bad things.
Yeah, we had to talk about the famous spirit box or portal fart noise that you had when you were sitting.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
And it wasn't you; it was actually the portal.
allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
allegedly.
wish-
I'm going to need further proof on that because
Leo, I wish you could have seen that because that was just crazy.
that's awesome, man.
We have it on recording. So
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You guys did
I-
record it?
I didn't
Yeah,
know
we-
if that one had died or not in there because I know they were dying.
No, I had both recorders going,
Oh,
so and
that's
everything.
awesome.
So
Nice.
it should be perfect.
We need to get that on air.
Yeah.
We will. Oh, we will. Trust me.
Yeah. We will.
Before we begin, people at home, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn notifications on. That way, when we go live, you go live with us, as we did last night. For those that tuned in, and there were quite a few of you. Which thank you very much to the people at home for tuning in. We appreciate that. We did the live ghost hunt last night while the boys were out and girls were out in Ness City at the
Yep.
Ness City County Bank, or Ness County Bank, should I say? But anyways, yeah, that was a fun night for me. I know you guys were working hard and having fun and doing things. So, what's the matter?
Just gotten a lot of feedback on this one. Which
Oh,
one
okay.
is it?
I can turn it down up here.
Okay.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
turned them up because last night some people were saying that possibly that they couldn't hear me very well, which is usually weird. Usually I'm eating
Okay.
the mic and being loud. So
Yeah, I'm just getting a
No,
lot
no,
of
you're fine. I
our
can turn it down.
feedback Here. Yeah, perfect. That's
trying,
good.
trying to
That's
say I'm
good.
talking too loud. I see. But anywho, but no, that's cool. Yeah, we had a good time. I had fun in the studio, even by myself. But it was fun. People were chatting me up, and I was chatting back with them. And
You weren't by yourself. We were with you right there.
I know I was going to say that. No, but they, Jason and them were kind enough to let us tag along while they were out and about, having a public investigation, and caught some interesting and fun things. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Like I said, I felt bad. Hopefully, I wasn't bothering Jason too much, but
No. What was really cool is that you guys were actually just like the shows we watch.
Right.
People were seeing things, and you were telling me or telling somebody else in the group, and we were running off to see it, and then you were sharing the photographs because you were cutting it and sending me the photos, and
actually, Chris, the viewer, sent that to me. I didn't cut that.
Okay, so
He was just
cut it.
sending it to me, and I was posting it, and he was giving them to me. So
Perfect.
he happened to see that in real time, that face, which we'll
Yeah.
play here in a little bit.
Yeah, the
Let people
face
see it.
That was seen.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
you
was
saw that.
Pretty
Yeah, that
interesting. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed, like he told me, and we'll go into details, is some things they weren't there 1 minute that were there. I mean, they were there 1 minute and gone the next. So,
Yeah.
and he witnessed it with his own eyes.
And and I'm sure, the cameras caught because we went back over there a little bit later. With I think it was Jake and Jarrett. Were up there with me and Corey, and we were staring at the spot where the face was caught. And
Mhm.
literally it was child size. It was about to here on the wall
Wow.
to me, because I was thinking you guys were like really picking on me like it was short child size.
Jason,
size.
when have we ever picked on you? That doesn't sound like me or all of us at all.
But
Jason,
on
look straight ahead.
But the face was actually right up about here on me, so
Nice.
it wasn't that far. It was literally a child.
Well, and haven't we
size.
Cotton?
cotton? Anyone?
You gotta realize Roth is a little rusty right
Been a
now,
little
so
Well, I know
the word he's trying to
previously-
say is caught.
It's caught.
Be-
Previously, we've caught some child's
Yeah. Voices and
voices
everything.
in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we've had the little girl laughing on that same floor.
Yep.
A little child laughing. I'm trying to think what else we've caught. Well, that's the same floor. Ironic enough as it is, that's the same floor I had the camera stationary that got tipped over. That was in our promo.
Oh, that's right.
It was facing right outside the elevator doors, facing down that long hallway, and something came up and just decided to tip it over. So
That's right.
yeah, I don't know, but
Oh, and I didn't even tell you. I didn't
Yes,
even get
sir.
to finish my story, but I can tell you now, or I can tell you. Whatever. Well, you mentioned the elevator, so I was just.
oh yeah, you started to say something about
Well, okay,
that
so
last night.
a lot of weird things were happening with the elevator that night. Now, it's kind of a shady thing because it's
Yeah, I never take it if I don't have to.
Well, ever since we were told that a wedding party had their reception there and a bunch of drunk groomsmen got on the elevator and were jumping up and down and broke the elevator. So they had to pay a lot of money to
nice.
get it fixed and everything.
Okay.
So since then, it's been a little on the shady note. It's wonderful elevator. It works just fine. I rode it last night too. But
Okay.
it was opening. It was opening at times when no one was there or even pushing the button to have it.
Seriously.
Because as soon as we got up there and we were walking down the hall, Jake comes. I was coming up late, and Jake comes back by and he goes, "Did you have a flashlight on or turn on a light?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "There's a light right here, by in this room." And I was like, "That wasn't me. I'm just coming around the corner, coming
Right.
upstairs on the second floor." And so one of the girls just says, "Well, open up the elevator, see if it's and that elevator opened, and sure enough, that was the illuminating light."
Really?
Yeah. So fast forward that to the end of the night, and Jake and Jarrett and Corey and myself and I think a couple other people, we were down in the room with the desk.
Uh-huh.
That was a kind of a point of interest last night,
Right.
which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Are you going to play that video too?
Yeah.
For everybody? Okay. So, weird as it is, Jake was like, "Well, I think I need to go check on my group and go find out where they're at and everything." So he started to head downstairs, and he's walking and I just kind of turn and walk out the door of that room too,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of look over here, and then I look down, and I see Jake. Now I see the illuminating light of the elevator opening and stuff like that, or it was closing at the time, but I see Jake turn and do this kind of weird, like, lean back and walk forward toward the staircase.
Uh-huh.
He turns and goes toward the staircase.
Hmm.
But I hear the elevator moving. So I'm like,
You think, what is going on?
yeah, I know. So I turned and asked everybody, do you think he went down the elevator?
Right.
He didn't really want to because of last year, because it actually dropped on him a little bit.
Oh, well, that's 'cause
him
he's-
and Elizabeth.
That's because he's 10 feet tall, and
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and so I go downstairs to the main level, thinking that's where he went, because his wife was down there, Elizabeth. And she goes, "No, he's not. He didn't come through here." And I said, "Did you hear anybody come down the stairs?" She said, "No, I heard somebody go up the stairs. I didn't hear anybody go down."
Really?
So I run downstairs to the basement, and I walk down there, and there's Jake. He's down there with everybody, and I was like, "Jake, did you take the elevator?" He goes, "Yeah, I did," and it actually scared everybody down here too, because they weren't expecting the elevator to pop open.
Yeah.
I'm like, "So you didn't turn and go down the stairs?" He goes, "No." I said, "I swear to God, I saw you, a person your size, turn and go down the stairs."
Wow.
So
That
I
is
have no idea
insane.
how to explain that, but I caught it at the right moment. As the elevator was closing, a figure turned and went downstairs.
And you saw, and nobody was around. It's just you
And
by yourself
didn't
on
have
that level,
a
huh?
freaking camera turned in that direction, because I had turned and moved that one into that room with the desk.
Right.
Otherwise, we would have caught the figure.
Wow, that's insane.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, the place, I didn't know how it would do, because that place seems to be hit and miss with activity, but I mean,
It's weird.
in the moment, but as far as when we go back and listen to recorders or videos, that's when we capture some of the best part of stuff that happens there. But
Yeah.
the stuff that's live, are you getting more feedback?
I'm just going to take my
Well, it seems
headphones
too
out.
like the last time I was there, it seems like the activity just keeps getting. It's
Yeah.
It's
It's
getting more and more.
It's
yeah.
changing
But it's
a lot.
changing.
Yeah.
It's never the
Very
same
much.
thing.
Yeah. And, Dennis and his wife Cheryl showed up last night.
Right.
Hadn't seen them since Oberlin.
Oh, yeah, same
And
here.
everything like that.
Which
So
I
he
didn't
even called Rich. So shout out to Rich. He had him on the phone for a little
Oh, did he?
bit.
Nice.
Yeah, he was rubbing it in that he was in an 1880s bank and investigating.
Well,
and then I see the photographs that Rich is posting today. And where was he?
I don't remember. I didn't see
I
that.
think he's.
Is he somewhere tonight, too?
Well, I want to say
today?
that he was posting pictures of the Stanley, but I can't.
Yo, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he
Okay,
said
okay.
he's taking a break from work, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
so
he's
he's
at the Stanley Hotel.
I'm like,
That's right.
I was like, you jerk, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
but
not missing anything in Kansas, you know. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, I did see that.
right.
Did the one family come? The lady that had the experiences with her grandmother, that had something to do with paperwork. Up there
No,
on that
it
desk?
was actually a small, more intimate group
Yeah.
last night. It was only
Which-
a small group, which actually worked out.
I was gonna
even
say,
better for us.
I actually like that because I was telling some of the viewers at home, it may sound like, not a lot of people were there, but it also helps with the contamination, factor. Because that's the thing
Yeah.
we always worry about, too many people in the building.
Yeah.
'Cause we usually average, 30 to 35 people
Oh, yeah.
on an
If
investigation.
not more
Yeah.
sometimes.
And that's just including the guests. We're not talking about even the,
Breaking us
us.
up and-
We just have about 8 of us there at most times. So you're figuring 40 people
And
plus.
it's really hard with that place because of the floors.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
I was explaining that to all the viewers
Yeah,
last night.
yeah.
Exactly that, because you think, oh, is that somebody walking? Well, yeah, it's upstairs. They're walking.
Sure enough, it is. I
So you get the
guarantee
radio up, and you can hear it clear in the first floor basement. It's like, somebody walking upstairs? Yeah, we're on the 3rd floor walking. Oh, okay, well, crap. That's not real.
Yeah, they. I tried to walk as quiet as I could, and it didn't work too well. Especially on the 2nd floor. And all
Yeah.
that. And I was trying to be quiet on the 1st floor while I was talking to you, and
Oh, that's
and
right.
everyone's out on the first rotation and everything, but
Yeah,
but everybody had a lot of weird experiences and everything.
right.
And I will put it out there, Chris, Renee, Jake, that was the girl turning on the light in the basement. So I watched her do it. So no mysterious light was turned on or anything. That's the kind of thing I don't like in investigations when it's public, is when people try to fake stuff in order to make it look
Well,
real.
and that's about the first time I've heard of this
We've never
even
had
occurring.
that.
I mean, and granted, she was young, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the end game was, why she would do that, but
They were all, by the end, they were all having fun, but
Too much
she was
fun.
having a little bit too much fun
Yeah.
trying to run around, sneak around, and
Yeah.
stuff. And we were having trying to do an EVP session down in the basement. And
Right.
you come down trying to scare us, and that ruins it for
Yeah.
people. So there's going to be some changes in how we
Sure,
are going to
some
be
protocol,
running
right.
the events now. So
Well,
just
and
we live and learn.
yeah, I remember back in the day, Ben and Claire talking about they had somebody go by one of the recorders and whisper into it, and they found out who it was, and they kicked. I think he was on the team even, or
Seriously?
something, and they kicked him off the team because of it. So, we're trying to make this as real as possible as far as we can control. What we're doing. We can't have people. We shouldn't have people going in there and ruin it for everybody else who's
Yeah.
paid money to go in and do this. They want as real as possible, investigation they can have.
Right.
I mean,
We all
when
do.
we don't ever fake anything we do,
Yeah.
100%. Otherwise, we'd just be wasting our time and the public's time.
Yeah. I mean, we are. It is a public event.
Sure.
It should be entertaining, but we are all there to do one thing: investigate.
God's work. Oh wait, what was the question?
We're in there to do. I'm not knocking on anybody's
I'm
door.
kidding. That's what we should start doing. Oh, anyways, sorry. Have you found the devil instead of Jesus? Sorry. Anyways.
We got holy water
Show up with
here now,
K2s.
too.
Yeah.
I'm getting a read.
Yeah, did you notice that, Ruth?
We got holy water.
Actual
here
holy
for-
water.
for-
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
which I got yelled at, but I was okay. It's all
You
worth
got
it.
yelled at.
I was told not to put it up there because it's sacrilegious, but have you met me?
It's been on every podcast we've
Have
done
you
since
met
we
me?
came back,
I know.
so-
It's fine.
yeah,
it was
it's
family.
awesome.
That's okay.
But no, it was a
It was
great
fun.
time. It was a great time, great group of people.
Sure.
Maybe a little too much fun there at the end
Well, I
for
mean,
my taking or whatever, but
yeah.
Have they gotten the vault open in the basement?
I
yet?
mentioned that last night too. I was like,
Oh.
man, I want to get in that vault because
So
you
and I are
told
like
me.
One of the
I
only
know.
ones that have been in there.
Kind of explain to people because nobody's seen this vault. I mean, I've seen the vault outdoors, the outside of it.
Yeah.
What is in this vault
Okay.
that has us all intrigued?
So when you walk in, there's this huge vault that's the original
Bank
painting.
vault,
It's
right?
got- yeah, it's a bank vault. It has the original painting on there. The strip around it is still gold paint that they put on
Mhm.
there. It's beautiful. Inside is all the historical documents of the town.
Wow.
Meeting record notes and stuff like that.
We're talking 1800s on, right?
Yeah, from the beginning on up.
Right.
Plus artifacts from the town from a long time ago.
God, I
from
would
the turn
love-
of the century.
And
Love
they're
to see
not just
that.
laying in there. This vault is really set up nice.
Really?
It's got it looks like a woman's closet. When you walk in, it's got place for shoes. It's got.
Oh,
places for
really? It's
everything.
that
So-
well organized and
so
kept.
all your
Very
paperwork
organized.
that's been rolled up.
God, I want to see this
is
so
rolled
bad.
up and stacked. All your forms are laying in.
Right.
It's at least it's safe.
No
It's
pun
just
intended.
No one can see it. But
Yeah.
I know they were talking about getting a locksmith to do it. They just don't want to break or
Don't want to damage the
damage
structure,
the
yeah,
building.
because that's beautiful. I mean, the building's beautiful as it is. Plus, the vaults they're just incredible.
I love going down
Mm-hmm.
the basement to see the other two vaults that are down there.
Yeah,
Someone set up their own office inside of one.
yeah, that back one
Yeah,
downstairs in the gift
it's-
shop. The
I was
first,
looking at it last night, like
because they had the
why
gift
would
shop
you wanna
open.
do that?
Did they have it open for you guys to go down there again?
Oh yeah, we had
cool.
everything last
That is
night.
awesome because one of the first times we went down to investigate as a group, I just remember it was Paul and Michelle and myself down
Yeah.
there, and I was in that vault you're talking about and doing investigations, and I could hear things moving outside of the door, and my biggest concern was like I gotta hope this door doesn't get slammed shut somehow and I'm locked in here because how am I supposed to get out?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, and it was hot, number one, because it was in the middle of summer. We went there. I think it was July when we went, but. Yeah, I could hear whispering moving out there,
Is
and
that
I
the
didn't.
one in the corner in the basement?
If you go down all the way in the basement, the gift shop, take a left. There's
Yeah.
two vaults. There's that first one, and then you keep going around the corner, and there's
You talking
another
about the
one.
Far left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is an office that they use, and there's a computer set up in there.
Oh,
There's
really?
yeah, and that's where I was doing some EVP work in there, and it was the thing I went in there I liked. I knew it was going to have high EMF because you're in all that electrical equipment in there, and so I expected it. But I mean, it also helps create more paranormal that way too. And we had some good stuff down there that first time, some voices, some whispering, and then of course, as you know, we went back another time and I had the group. That was some of the girls were back, I guess, last night. You said,
There is
or one or two.
there was three people who were there last year.
Was it not
in
from the time I
October.
was there with them, or was it when it was one of them with them?
I know they were there last
Oh,
year.
okay. I thought you made it sound like the last time you're telling me that you thought it was some of those same girls.
No.
Okay,
So these would have all been new people for you.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got any pictures you can? put
No,
up for-
I got nothing. This is all talk.
The last time you were there, is that when the couple got pushed off the steps?
He's been there late since
Have
then.
you been there since then?
I don't even know. We've
Or
been there
maybe
so many.
not.
We've
I
been
don't
there
think
so
he
many
has.
times.
Actually, you did.
I wasn't there for what couple got pushed off the steps.
Actually, it
I don't think I was there for
uh,
that
You were
one.
there because you and Jason
It was
went out
in-
and spoke with the family.
Remember the
They
two that
couldn't
got
drive
pushed?
home.
You were down in the basement. And they
You
got
and Cody went.
Oh, the
ran
girls.
out
that-
there.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
girl
yeah.
and the guy.
You talking about the high schooler kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the last time I've been out there. I
Okay.
think, but
Yeah.
I'd have been around. I don't remember. It was cold. That's all I remember.
You should try to get out more often.
so should you.
That is true. Yeah. So you want to see some pictures? You said. What would you like to see, sir? I got pictures for
anything
days.
from last night.
I
You
don't
can
have
picture the
anything
building, that
from
way
last night.
everyone can get a. I mean, yeah, I know everybody's seen
It's all right. I'll
the
put them up.
pictures and stuff like that, but yeah, that's the picture. That is pretty darn cool.
Stop
But-
talking about stuff they can't see at home.
I know it, but that's my privilege.
just
you know
kidding.
that.
Just messing with you.
Um,
Oh, I have it right there. I guess.
a lot of weird noises down there because I was talking to you about down there around the desk room
Mm-hmm.
and all that, which you'll see a video of it here in a little while.
Right.
He'll get that up for you guys.
Better
We're
hope.
hearing like tapping on glass down there. Now, just to let you know, they I think the second and third floor they actually have got all the storm windows in there.
That's what you were
so
saying.
it
Yeah.
is- So it's pretty solid now, and you don't hear as much noise. There's
From
no
outside.
wind rattle or
I
anything.
remember
up
last year
there.
when I went up there, you came up off the elevator and to your left. Remember all the bees
Yeah.
that were coming in from the windows?
Yeah.
Did they replace that?
Oh yeah. All the
That's
windows up
great.
there. They still they've got more grant money coming to finish the rest of the building, but upstairs it's all done, and
That's
they
great.
were pretty. It was pretty awesome to, because I don't know, it kind of gives it a whole new atmosphere now, because you don't hear the noises we were hearing outside as much. So when it went quiet up there, like in the third floor Masonic Lodge,
Mhm.
it was quiet.
That's cool because you could always hear weird,
Oh yeah.
like wind and noise, a little bit of
Wind
things that you.
Some people across the street talking or something. You
True.
know. But no, last night when it was quiet, it was dead quiet. No pun intended, but it was dead quiet.
You
Always
next time
fun
we
to
go
do.
up there, I should bring my fez with
Bring
me
pizza.
and
Wear
wear
that.
it up there.
Why not?
Bring his what?
The fez.
Oh, I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't think, but now I got you. Sorry. Whoa, that was too big.
But yeah, it was. This place is pretty amazing. I love it. It's still one of my favorite.
Yeah, the side of it alone is beautiful. I'm trying to get these pictures. Hang on, having issues.
We're just waiting on you.
Keep talking.
I know. So next year,
Whoa.
we are.
Next year.
Yeah, next year already.
What's happening next year?
Next year, we're going to be doing 2 nights there in June for their Pioneer Festival Day.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I couldn't think it was called. So
And I'll be posting it, and
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do is actually have a booth out there in front of it along with the festival. They said they get a few thousand people out there. They block out the streets. They have a carnival going on,
Mhm.
beer garden.
Is that in front of the bank?
Yeah, all
Straight
right
up.
there on the
That's
side of
right
the
there.
bank where we usually park. Yeah, so it's all going to be right there. So we're going to get a set up out there and try to get some people to sign up and all that. So
Any air horns go off?
no,
Oh
At
God, I
3 in
forgot
the
about
morning?
that.
no. I was telling that story too
Good.
last night.
So you can see above me right here. This is delayed. That's why. It'll show up eventually. But above me right here.
Old Settlers is what it's called.
Oh, I didn't say you
As
said
I
Pioneer
was-
Days. I'm like that sounded weird, but
I
Settlers
was
makes
just
more sense.
corrected. Yeah.
Good. Let's miss correct them.
Yes,
But above
yes.
me. What are you doing, Rose?
I was looking in the window.
Oh. I just saw him going like this. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? Do it again, so I can see it again.
Mhm.
Do it again. We got a peeping Roth. So above me is the actual bank itself right there. It's a beautiful. I was sitting on the opposite corner just
Yeah.
one day snapping some photos. And I think we've all done this picture because I think you've done it. I've done it.
Yeah.
I think Rich and them did it last. Not Rich.
Yeah.
Dennis and them did it last night. Or yesterday, I think.
Oh yeah.
So
He
But-
had a prototype white light camera for his phone and all that
Uh-huh.
Rich had done for him.
nice.
And so he was like testing it out. It has its own built-in tripod to it and everything like that.
Nice.
And that thing was so bright. And I'm standing in the main lobby, and all of a sudden I'm blinded by this light from outside because he's out in the street posing with it
That's
while his
funny.
wife is taking pictures.
That's
of him out in the
hilarious.
street and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we're talking about Dennis Blatcher. He's from simplyghost.com. He makes cutting edge paranormal software and stuff like that that's been used on some of the actual shows you see on TV, like Ghost Adventures and things of that nature. And also, we're talking about Rich, who from Colorado Paratech, who makes the lights that you're talking about, the bright lights. Who's
Yeah.
offered when you get in touch with him, he said he'd make us some lights too. We just haven't had a chance to.
Yeah.
We have a couple on the team. I know Dan has some on his
Yeah.
and his equipment, so we do have some. We just need to get more.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, they're very, very cool, and they're not too expensive either. That's what I like about them. They're relatively affordable. So, so there's, like I said, the bank. And hey, Andy joined. We got quite a few people. Charlene's there. Hey, Charlene.
Hey, what's up, Charlene?
You'll be next. Don't worry. We're coming to get you next sometime. Talking about, of course, out in Oberlin.
2020.
Oberlin at the Decatur County Last Indian Raid Museum.
Yeah, I'm
So-
looking forward to Oberlin and
Yep.
then going back for a 2-nighter there at because we're
Nice
going to be
county bank.
staying both of those towns kind of
Yeah, for days.
for a couple of days at least.
Yep. So,
Doing events. I know Charlene was talking about doing 2 nights out there.
yeah.
Because we got that schoolhouse that we're gonna try and get. We're gonna get into. Not trying. We're gonna get into.
Yep.
American Legion.
Yeah, we should do that.
And the museum itself.
Yep.
But I can't wait for Settlers Day out there.
You mean Pioneer Days?
Old settlers.
Just testing you, Jason.
I'm also very tired.
I know. That's why it's fun to mess with you. Make the jokes easy. I told you that earlier. Anywho, sorry. Let's get some more stuff going. Do what? We had some interesting stuff happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's funny is you guys didn't know this was happening on camera. We had Chris, who's watching. I know Chris
Yeah.
Warner. He we had the live feed going from the cameras last night, and he happened to see a face outside the vault doors, which was pretty interesting. And I'll put that up here so people at home can see this. I'm glad he caught it in real time because I was trying to do too many things. It went over. I wouldn't have saw it. Probably if I was staring right at it because I was too busy.
Well, I'm glad we put the camera there. Andy said that they were hearing voices and shadow figures from the vault last time.
Oh, that's right. You
and
were saying that.
Lena actually had gone up there and and was kind of doing a reading inside the vault last time, and she was
Nice.
picking up on stuff. And that's Lena Townsend. Now, so Andy said, we need a camera right there looking at it.
Sure.
So we did.
Makes sense.
Wasn't expecting to catch the possibility of something looking back at us. So
Yeah, and I'm glad, like I said, you saw this because I would never have caught it. I got to find it real quick. I just had it up, and now, that'd be too easy if I could find it right off the bat. I too am tired. I'm not as tired for the same. Well, kind of.
kind of.
I was up for some of that, so.
You were up.
Yeah, I was up. Wait, there it is. I can see him now.
Well, you you were going probably sooner than we were.
Yeah,
'Cause we were over
I did
there.
because I saw. I was like, let me know when you guys get back because I don't see anybody.
So we went for dinner and then walked back. And
Yeah, I didn't get what you guys got to eat. You guys
Where'd
got
go
burritos.
to dinner.
The Mexican restaurant. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So I'll put up a couple pictures here. This first one's gonna be. Well, I'll just do this here. Let's just do this. This first one's gonna be the actual. When he caught it in real time.
Yeah.
That's probably good enough. Let's just do that.
See if anybody can actually see it.
And I'll put up a close up here. So we had Jason in the group had a camera, and it was pointed at the vault door, which is on the right. You can see the big black outline of it. And this is in night vision. that's why I kept asking Jason, "You guys have lights on? Because it's pretty damn bright in there. These
Yeah.
cameras picked up everything really well." He's like, "No, all lights are off," which is
Yeah.
good. So
The only real good light that was actually shining was just the exit signs.
yeah,
And they almost look fresh and brand new. So
nice.
they were very bright, and they had it had white light coming down the bottom of it, so it kind of illuminated the floor like right there where the light
Yeah.
was. But down there, no, it was still the darkened.
Yeah,
hallway.
this is just dark, and it's very dark in this hallway. I
I
mean,
love those cameras we got.
yeah, they came out fantastic. So, right above Rosehead on screen, you'll see that's where the vault door is. When I had the cameras running live last night, a viewer, it was Tammy, she saw, well, we saw somebody in the vault, number one, and I realized, okay, that's somebody actually in the vault, so that's okay. That's a real person.
Right.
But she said, there's a doll on the floor. Why is it moving? I'm like, doll? Does anybody have a doll there last night?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
When I went back to, I kept bouncing around after a little while, and I came back, and she goes, oh, that doll's gone now. So I don't know what she's on the floor. There's something on the floor by one of the guests or investigators' feet in the vault. I didn't capture it anywhere.
Okay, so I did not see a doll last night at all, but I remember last year there was a doll that was placed in there.
In the vault?
Yeah,
What?
last year.
I didn't know that.
I forgot. It was like somebody tried to do a trigger object, but
Sure.
I thought it belonged to somebody, and they took it.
I didn't know we did it. They did
So-
it there.
But when I went up in there, setting up and doing everything, there wasn't at all anywhere.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. But yeah, she swore she saw a doll there, and then she said, "Oh, it's gone now." I'm like, I never saw.
Okay, that's weird.
So that's interesting. Yeah, but
how early on in the investigation?
pretty close to when this picture was taken.
Wow.
So this is during the actual investigation. Chris, this is a screen cap he grabbed last night for me, which I appreciate again. Thank you, Chris. I know he's watching. He noticed, he goes, there's a face on that wall. I'm like, there's a face. And I was like, well, wait a minute. After we started talking about it, I was like, there is some pictures on the wall of like the history of Nest City, baseball teams up there, things of that nature. I said, but where you're looking at right there, there is no faces on the wall because those are just words up there. I can clearly see what's there. It's just descriptions.
Right.
So when he told me that, he's like, "Oh, I'll send it to you." I was like, "Yeah, if you could, please do." And he sent me this picture. So the area you're focusing on is right above Jason's head. There's like a board that goes from the floor up to about 3/4 of the way up the wall. There's two black little dots. Those are screws. He pointed out. I thought maybe at first he was thinking those were the eyes. I'm like, well, those are screws. Clearly, I know what those are. I can see them. But he's like, they're above the screws. I'm like, oh, that kept me going, intrigued even more so than I already was. And he goes, where that white kind of mist looking light is, there is some faces in there, or there's a face in there. So let me go over to image number 2 here. Give me a second here. And he was able to zoom in on it for me and got a better picture of it. Got to get it. Can't remember how I had it at now. Good God, you think I'd have this together?
Now, so in that picture where that, like,
Yes, go ahead.
what do you call that? The wooden paneling and everything. If you look just above that, you see like the bottom of the thermostat that's there.
Yeah, he made reference to
The
that.
thermostat's like almost like my level of the
About
head,
chest level, or
head level,
okay.
and everything. And well, yeah, I mean it was like right here. So what you're wanting to look at and focus on was just like right here at my chest or stomach.
Oh wow. So that's interesting because that's almost like child level, basically. Sorry, I'm just reading and trying to focus at the same time. So let me get this other image out here. 1 second here, and it's going to be right behind. It's going to be zoomed in of this thing where the area that Chris was particularly talking about. So we can see it in studio. At home they can't see it quite yet, but they'll see it soon enough. But so above Jason's head again is the area where to focus on. And I'll zoom in here in just a second where you can see there's something. I mean, I can make out a face on two levels. Let me get a zoomed in. I forgot how to do this now. It's been a minute. It's been about a night. I was doing this last night. I'll put it above me so it's a little clearer. So let me get this transitioned over. So this is the zoomed in copy of it. You see the two little dark screws. Those are. I thought maybe he was thinking those were the eyes, but no, those are not eyes. Now, if you go directly above that, on the one on the right, kind of over Jason's shoulder, basically, there is looks like two eyes, two dark little eyes. And I can show you guys in studio right here, right there, 1 and 2. Do you see them?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like there's hair right there, like right in through here. So, and it looks like just a white pale face. And then up here, it looks like another face facing outward with the hat right here.
So do you think like?
Well, the little girl, you said, you were telling me reference points. You said this is about your height, chest level, in that area.
Right. Yeah, if I was standing up
Mhm.
and facing it, it was about right here.
Go ahead, stand up.
I am.
Oh, sorry. I had
No,
you,
because
Jason.
I was really thinking that
Yeah.
when I went back up there to look and see where this panel is right
Yeah.
here, where my arm is going and disappearing.
That's because I have it
But
set weird.
it's you know, because when I went, I was thinking about like, okay, where is this face at? And I was really expecting it to be like up here, but no, the paneling's down below,
And that's a wood panel.
It's just a
not like
board. It's just a
plexiglass
2x4.
or
No,
anything.
isn't it just a 2x4 there or something? You were there.
It's kind of like a clear,
Oh, is it a clear panel?
yeah.
See, if it's clear,
I wonder if
if
it
Well,
it's
it's
reflects.
kind of
reflection,
clear, kind of
if
I
clear.
it's a
wondered the same
reflection.
thing.
It's kind of clear. I mean,
Well-
it's blocking out the wood paneling. That's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Is that the wood paneling there down below.
Well, go with that logic for just a minute, Roth. You're saying that, okay, is it getting reflection from the opposite wall, probably? Is that what you're saying? Or a picture maybe on the opposite wall and it's going to be hitting that wall, your
Mhm.
reflection?
Yeah.
Why would a camera sitting here with no light other than infrared bounce off that corner, picking up a wall opposite?
Well, there's
Behind
actually
you.
nothing there because right behind there is a doorway leading to one of the the other
Apartments.
rooms. Yeah, right behind.
Yeah, I know
you.
what you're talking
Right,
about.
Where I
you're
have the
right,
chair.
because that's where Lena sat in front of the vault, and
Uh-huh.
straight across there is a hallway.
Yeah,
That's right.
there's
Now-
a door facing to it. I know what you're talking
Right.
about, yeah, behind you.
Now,
There's
if,
also that hallway, right?
if you're facing the face or the anomaly there,
Mm-hmm.
just to the left is the story of Ness
Oh, really?
himself.
Which is intriguing because I feel like that guy up on top with the hat I was pointing out kind of looks like either a Civil War kind of hat looking thing or a baseball cap, which they have both right there.
Right.
Down the hallway is the baseball collection all on that wall because I always find
Right.
it and read it because I'm a big baseball buff, sports guy. But I know there's General Ness up there too, which is intriguing.
Or an army hat,
Well, and
possibly with glass. Is there
and-
any army photos up there?
I
well,
see.
can't
I don't know.
remember.
no.
You would know because you were just there more than.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's,
you would.
there's nothing like that.
You
up
can
there.
actually, now that I see it, if you take your arrow right there,
Yeah.
and you can see his glasses. The glasses actually go back towards the ear. If you go right there, yep,
Hang on, let me get on here so I
But
see
see,
better.
Chris Werner
and they're black.
even said that there's multiple
it right
times
there?
throughout the night we all walk by with
Yeah.
flashlights and
And I validated
lights,
that.
and there's no reflection. There's no image of us
Yeah.
bouncing off of it or anything like that. And he's right. It's
Yeah, I went back and watched
so
to
it's-
validate that, and yeah, it's nothing there. It goes dark actually.
Yeah.
That board or that plexiglass goes solid dark. It doesn't
there's
show it.
actually no light bouncing to it.
If I would have thought about this in
whatsoever.
time, I would have. Maybe I can do it during break. If we take a break.
It's interesting.
I can
There's
go in back
nobody
and
else up there that would have been
rewind it.
standing around.
Well, Cheryl was. That's just it. Cheryl with Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl was up there, and that's what I think saw. 'Cause he made reference to the person in front of the vault after she just walked away. There's a face there. She walks down towards the vault out of sight.
Yeah,
Is there
it's,
anybody wearing glasses?
there's
and a
just
hat?
no. There's just no way that is actually a
Well,
reflection.
Dennis was.
Just the material
but-
itself, because I stood right next to it. It's not a reflecting kind of thing.
No, I mean it is plexiglass, so it could, but it'd have to be somebody more than likely shooting a camera towards you, so your face reflects. I don't know. I mean, it's something we'd have to go back and try
Right.
different angles, like I did with the Dodge City Boo Hill one, where
Yeah.
the night you saw somebody come out of that doorway,
Yeah.
And I found out that walking the opposite end of the side of the building
Yep.
would trigger an opposite movement like that, and it was bizarre. Just stupid luck. I stumbled across that. But even then, it wasn't it. You saw an actual person that night, a real person.
Right.
It was Chris or Jared, I
Jared.
think it was. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But
And
yeah,
even, okay, I got a question for
Sure.
you. So, yeah, that is her hair, isn't it?
it looks
Or
like
could it be his shoulder?
hair.
in like a
You know,
black coat?
it could be either or. I just see the white face because I thought he was talking about that face. I think he was mentioning originally this face up on top. I noticed this one. I'm like, well, there's two faces there, and it might just be matrixing. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the fact is, he was right. It was gone 1 minute
Yeah.
there, gone
Right.
next. Because I watched the whole video, and I went back and rewound it to that spot, and
Yeah. And I went up there and stared at that spot for quite a while.
it was intriguing though. I mean, it was a heck of a catch for a viewer to catch that. Watching,
That's why I
and like
love
I
it.
said, I appreciate it, Chris.
That's why I love
Thank
that
you
we
very
did
much.
that. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, but it just
You
adds
see
to.
the nose, the mouth, the ear.
Mm-hmm.
You see the glasses. It goes back. The hat.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
see the hair on her because the hair almost is like curly and it stops about an inch below her ear.
Yeah, I have no idea. It was bizarre. Like I said, the thing is, what Jason pointed out, it was shorter, and we know there's a girl, female, child up there.
Yeah.
Which at the time I was even talking last night, I don't understand why there's children up there at the bank. But then I got to thinking about it. I remember back to one of the guests or one of the board members telling us. Well, I used to be up here. There's a woman up here, elderly woman, used to watch, or older woman, not elderly, used to watch us as a daycare.
Yeah. There's
So okay,
apartments
maybe
up
there
there.
could be some children there,
It
you
was
know.
apartments.
Yeah.
Apartments. At the time, there was offices and a lawyer's offices and a judge chambers.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Which brings me to another point. That same area. Well, that area, the actual courthouse was upstairs in the Mason area, wasn't it, or in that area upstairs somewhere?
Could be.
To my knowledge.
I never did hear exactly
I'm pretty
where they
sure
had it.
that's where it was. And I think that's why when I was talking to you last night, where I was telling you that shadow person I kept seeing all night,
Up on the
that-
third floor?
Chris and a couple other viewers saw too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said there's some chairs back there, right? I think those are the old. They used to be in that same little closet area, kind of that little 4x4 room.
Yeah, if you go straight out
Mhm.
that door, not the main one, but
Right.
right out there where all
On
the
the third
pictures
level?
of the Masons are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you immediately turn.
Those are
There's
the old courthouse, like pews, I guess, used to be there.
really.
That's what I was told years ago when we first started
Interesting.
going, but I can't confirm or deny that, you know. So,
Right.
but or refute it, should I say? I forgot I was going with what I was going to say was one of the viewers, or actually one of your guys' guests last night, was messaging me this morning. She said they kept getting on the paranormal puck. I think it was the puck she said. They kept getting words like felon and felony, and they got in the word Don. And they're like, who the heck's Don? I was like, I don't know any Dons. You know, at the time it meant nothing to me when she said that.
Right.
And then she mentioned to me that we went into that room with the desk, that big rolling desk, and I can put a picture up here in a minute, that there's a letter if they move some stuff around, made out, signed by a Don. And even on the puck it goes, when they approached the desk, it said which letter on the paranormal puck. And I'm like, I would have never known that had you not told me that. I know there's paper on their newspaper, a couple
Yeah.
pictures and whatnot of the town and stuff, and I think whoever donated the desk, if I remember, is on there. But yeah, it said there was a letter made from Don, signed by Don, and when they went up to the desk, it said which Don, or which letter, excuse me, which was pretty intriguing. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's there's intelligent spirits there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had pretty much a lot of interaction with them, upstairs, downstairs, even in the basement, which I will talk about here in a little bit again. Yeah, I mean, the place was fun, active for your guests, for the viewers at home. I mean, and we've been there, I don't know how many times at this point,
Right.
as a group, and both public and private. It's never seems to disappoint. Plus,
No,
it's just a
I
fun
love it.
building. Beautiful
I
building to
love
get into. What else do you have on this? I can play some other
Are you
stuff.
able to play the video?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's play that and
No.
just. Dang it.
Yeah, give me a second. We'll get it set up here.
Okay.
So you can kind of
So-
start talking.
With the cameras, how we had it last night, we were able to go back immediately and view who was up there, what was going on, and stuff like that. And in this
Yes.
incident, in this video that you're going to see here in a little bit, something strange happened that we were
In your
able to-
neighborhood?
Huh? Yes.
Sorry.
It was. See, he
Miss
always
you
throws
guys.
me
I
off
know,
and
that's
everything. It was just a weird incident that we couldn't explain until we were able to go back and realize, okay, this is legit because none of us were there.
Right.
We could pinpoint to the last person in the room, which was Corey, who grabbed the meters and everything that I left behind because I was the first to leave to go back downstairs, and we were in the room with the desk, and the rest of the guests came out and left, and you could hear everybody kind of leading their way down toward the staircase to go downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And the last person out there was Corey grabbing the meters and walking out. So no one's in the room as before the anomaly that happens. And you caught this. You saw it with your own eyes.
Yeah, I just happened to be watching still, even after I,
And-
after the podcast ended last night.
Right.
I stayed on, just kind of just seeing what's going on.
So it was vacant for 2-3 minutes before something happens. Now you will see like a bunch of, you can call it orbs, you can call it dust, whatever, but it really starts to stir. Now us walking in and out of the rooms like that, and it's old.
Sure.
There's going to be a lot of dust in there flying around, which is probably what it is. I mean, but you never know, because at some points we were watching it from our apps. It would go like from the second floor. You'd see the same shooting thing going up to where the Masonic Lodge is. It's almost like it just followed it right up, and it was the
Right.
same orb that went shooting up. Now, with this video, whenever you're ready,
Yeah.
it's pretty. It was a great catch. That was awesome that you caught that, and going back and watching it, knowing that nobody's in there, we all left, and this happens.
I'm going to do this real quick here, maybe a little better. So in the video you're seeing right here, it's kind of behind Jason and Rosehead. This is the desk we're talking about, and it's a stationary camera. You can kind of see when right before that green box hits, it moves. The camera moves on its own, so it's sitting there still. And here in a second, it's going to move right about, well, there. It shifted from right to left on its own.
Right.
I just happened to be watching it. This is after the podcast had ended. I was sitting there watching the cameras just for a few minutes, probably about 30 more minutes. And I noticed this camera moving, and I was like, "Oh, why would they move it?" And I waited for somebody to move in, in focus and screen, because in the room, this is set up on a desk, on a chair in the back corner of the room.
Yeah. So you went straight into that room,
Mm-hmm.
and right to the left, I put it right in that corner.
Right.
So you would have had to seen somebody. They would have had to crawl on the ground on their belly
Right.
just to walk to get up to it.
Let me do
Because
this.
I mean, it's a fold out chair, so it wasn't that high.
Right. I know exactly the corner of the room you went in.
Yeah.
And I've been there enough to where I know, like you said, somebody would have had to go in there and do something to it.
And you do see orbs or dust or something shoot up straight.
Right. Let me put this bigger for the people at home so they can kind of focus on it.
Okay.
So if you're watching on screen here, you'll see it. Right before the green box happens, the camera shifts right to left, right there. It moves on its own.
And the green box does pick up on motion, so that's
Right.
why
That's
the
just
box
it.
is doing it is because of motion.
Yeah, cause right, and what even caught my eye in the first place, I saw a dust. Now, dust, we talked about this on the podcast last night. Is it dust? Is it orbs? Who knows? Most of the time it's dust. I'd probably err on the side of caution, but not always. There's some things we just can't explain that appear on contact or on command,
Yeah.
and that have these weird looking odd shapes that move weird, and there's a millimeter spike, there's things moving, it illuminates natural light in the room and in pitch blackness. We've had that before where it's glowing right in front of us. But I happen to see that the only time this did it all night was there was well, I'm going to say it's a dust orb dust, whatever, was moving, that a green box outlined it.
Right.
So I started watching more on intense on the camera. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. That's different. And then this happens.
Right.
I didn't put that part of the video on here because it's like it's not relevant. Kind of.
So another weird thing that
Go ahead.
we were watching while we were kind of went back and started watching a little bit what was going on. I was up there in the room, in that room right there, where some of the guests are sitting on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Jarrett was up there. I think Jake was up there. And Chris was up there, and he took the music box, put it in that open window next to the desk.
Right.
He put it up there, and it always, once you turn it on, it plays for a couple of seconds and all that, and as he walked away. Well, when we went back and started viewing some more of that stuff, we've been in the room for a little bit, right?
Right.
The dust wasn't really doing anything. It was pretty calm. The music played, and that room just lit up with dust and movement all over the place. It was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, Corey and I were watching it because we were both had the apps on, and so
Right.
it was like it caught us off guard. Like, why is there so much flying around? Like all of a sudden, I was like, well, that's when he had just turned it on and the music was kicking off.
Because that moves on sensor. Yeah.
Yeah,
It gets triggered by
because he
motion.
walked away from it and it played just for a second, and the music, I don't know, startled something.
Weird.
But we might have to try that next time.
Yeah,
Actually go up
definitely.
there and play some music up there.
Well, and one thing to focus on too, think about is this camera wasn't even in this room initially. You had it out in the hallway,
Yeah.
facing down long,
Right.
from one end, facing towards the elevator. Is that right?
Yeah, it was just down the hall, looking past where the vault would be. You know, as the other camera was going this way, and I had it down
Okay.
to face the other end to see
I
where
gotcha.
the elevator was.
That's what I thought. And the reason you and I were talking at the time, I asked you if you said you had heard, or the guest had heard.
glass tapping. Well, Chris and I, or Jarrett was hearing it, and one of the guests was hearing it,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought I'd heard it too. That's why we walked down there, and that's when I later we were talking just a little bit after that, and you said, well, dang it, we don't even have a camera in there, and I'm like, I can move it.
Right. And I remember you saying that.
It's easy.
That's just crazy. I mean, I don't get it. We just got stupid lucky on this one where
Yeah.
had some things happen in that room and
Well, we've got a lot of more videos, cameras to watch.
right.
Because that's the 4 that we had up there, or
Plus-
on the 2 floors there, and then
Had the wireless
Jake's
DVR
got
going.
all of his down in the basement.
Yeah, which I know and I hope he has that camera facing that doorway where upstairs on the 3rd level I kept seeing that shadow where it should be entering from, hopefully. So I'm hoping, because that was sitting on the room facing that way, right?
I think he's actually facing right at my camera. He's
Oh, is he?
It's next to the doorway. The
Yeah.
doorway's right here.
Right.
His camera was facing directly.
Okay, I couldn't
in
tell.
the room and
I could see it
stuff.
on. I could see it's our light playing with this IR light. Excuse me, from your cameras.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I just didn't know. But you would be able to see somebody walking in. I'd be curious the angle he had on there because
right.
all night you could see this thing poke its head in. And I go back and forth between the 2 cameras up there, and you can. One is shooting for where the thing should be standing. The other one should be where, I mean, you can just see this thing all night,
Right.
this black shadow. But
It's crazy.
yeah, it was just a fun
It
night.
was a fun night. Very fun night.
Let me get us back on here. Since I took
So
us off.
in the video there, the red and the purplish color that you see on the right, is that just the IR light?
From the
Trying to
video
focus
itself,
You
Where
see
at?
it there on your right?
on the right up in here.
Yep, right in there. That whole thing, if you notice, as soon as it turns, it's turning like a
Yeah,
reddish-
that could be sound waves. I mean, I see it right in through here, right there.
No, to your right, in between the doorway. See, go
Yeah.
down.
I
You
think
see
that's
that
just
movement?
the
Yeah, it's same
camera
thing.
itself.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's just sound waves. I mean, they do some weird things.
'Cause
Camera.
it's picking up sound. And
Okay.
all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I've seen that before too, where it's like pixelated and it looks like something's moving and it's just the actual
Because
sound.
I didn't do it last night, but through the app that I have on my phone, I could talk through the camera if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And which I should have done and broken up some of the groups a little earlier at some points, but you know, but
Yeah, you never know. We have a game plan
Yeah.
going in there, and then it just goes
yeah,
by the wayside some nights. Seems like, but it's just cool the fact that some of the stuff that we caught live and even after the fact.
Well, what's interesting too, the more I keep watching this, you've got stuff that's going straight up.
Mm-hmm.
You got stuff that's coming in through that room
Yeah,
and then into the window.
and zipping
and
around
then
right there.
Yeah, it actually comes in from the other window. Do you see it?
I do. I just saw it again. There's something that
Which-
comes
It's
in right
there. See
yeah,
the one?
there.
So it was coming
Right
from
there.
back there. Yeah.
and there's one that comes afterwards, right after it moves.
And then after that, there's one that goes straight up.
Now, I will point out to the viewers at home, this camera is not one that can be moved. It has to be physically
Yeah.
turned. It's not one that we can control in studio or on location other than manual manipulation. We were just talking before the podcast about getting the ones that pan, scan, and move up and down every which way, but this one is not. It's just a square little cubicle.
Crazy.
Cube.
You see that, Jace? Where it comes in from the other room.
Oh, yeah.
And it literally ducks under the.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
fun. It's fun.
I just saw something else. Let me see one more thing before I switch angles or cameras. Oh, that's the door handle. Looks like there's a shadow there for a minute there. I think that's just the door knob. It looks like it disappears when it shifts over. That's why. I think I'm just seeing things. But yeah, it was just an interesting catch. And I was like, Jason, and I sent it to you immediately after
I
the
know.
fact. I'm like, is anybody up there or what's going on? Because that camera's just moved, dude.
And and I, being the one who purchased it, I was like, what's happening with our gear,
Right. Yeah, it was intriguing.
If stuff's happening to any of our gear, it makes me nervous. So, especially if stuff is falling over, like your tripod that one time.
Oh, it's happened multiple times
Well,
actually.
I know, but it's still
Tahlequah,
there,
where it broke the camera actually, which
Yeah.
Tahlequah we always talk about our most famous spot. It in the house it fell over twice and it broke the camera,
Yeah.
and it's just like one of our best cameras we had too, our full spectrum. I'm just like but it's still usable.
Yeah.
We still use it on occasion, but yeah. And then the one in the city on the second floor down the hall from this, when I was there, I don't know, one of the first times we were there.
Yeah.
This is the same night that Paula fell down the stairs, which I made reference last night.
Was it the same trip? 'Cause
Yeah.
It was just the four of us there.
Yeah. That's why it was bizarre. Or somebody would have heard it or saw it or whatever, and it was just us four.
Wow.
Yep. So, because that was supposed to be a public investigation or something, or it was supposed to be for the board. For the board, right?
It was for the board, but
Only 2 people showed up, which was fine.
it was, yeah.
We had a good time, so got a life history that night, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, just intriguing stuff. What else, if anything? Renee, I wish I could have had Renee send. I know you guys had a long trip home and stuff, and everybody's
Yeah.
tired. Did she stay the night there too, or did she drive home last night?
The three of them took off.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's no fun. But she was saying they had videos and sounds from down in the basement that she said were just crazy. That I forgot she had called in last night to the show, and I asked when you were trying to call me.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was going to play them for us, but we never got a chance to because they had activity going on immediately again
Yeah.
with her and Dennis and everybody down in the basement area.
Yeah. It's kind of hard.
So did you guys only choose to go 3 live or
3 live what?
videos last night areas, or could you have gone and done more?
Well, we did the second floor and the third floor live.
Did 2 cameras each up on each floor?
Have to have Wi-Fi for the cameras.
Yeah.
And the Wi-Fi kept dying
Okay.
when we got. We tried to set up cameras down in the basement.
That's what I was asking him. I'm like,
Yeah,
no cameras in the
so-
basement.
I know,
Hint,
right?
hint, hint.
But we have.
That's why.
We did have Jake's.
He had his
wireless
DVR camera.
DVR down there, so
Yeah,
that'll be to be continued kind of thing.
yeah.
So
Because and the reason why we talked about it, and we talked about it on the podcast before, it was actually Cody, Rose, son, and myself. Well, that's when we had, like we talked about, we had over 30 people in there,
Yeah.
and we broke them up into levels where we had the first floor and basement floor was one group, second floor was one group, and then the third floor was another group. I happened to be on the first rotation in the basement, and Cody stayed on the main level we broke our group in half, and I had the young high school kids, which I'm always leery of because you never know what you're going to get, as you found out last night, some
Yeah.
things with high school, but that's neither here nor there.
yeah.
But these groups, I picked them because I noticed they were the most scared. I'm like, this is gonna be fun for me because I want them to see genuine reactions, you know,
Yeah.
and they're type where they're truly scared. When you walk down the stairs, they huddle together, you know, in unison, and it's just a big a mob going together down the stairs. So I was like, and I was asked this question, like, who's the most scared person in here?
Right.
Well, me. No, it's me. You know, well, I'll be because that's my guinea pig. So I asked him, and a girl pointed out, and then a guy was also kind of scared too.
Right.
It was Summer, and I can't remember his name.
I'll look it up.
Wyatt.
Later. What?
Wyatt?
No. I don't think
Something with
so.
a W, I think. But anyways, it's something with a W. But anyways, and so we're down there asking questions. And I'm using the spirit box, and I'm saying, you know, my usual spiel, you know, say my name. Nothing. Sometimes yes. Well, say one of these people's names. Say somebody's name in this room, and it says his name. And he's like, oh my God, you know, because he, like I said, and here he is, one of the scared ones, you know. Well, that's cool, you know. Can you do it again? It doesn't do it. I was like, well, say somebody else's name, and then it says a girl's name, Summer. Once again, the two most people that are the most, and it's from, you know, it's not instantaneously. It's probably 5 minutes in between each name. But the fact they still said those two names, I made note of that. I'm like, that's cool. They're the two scared people down here, and they said their names. That's peculiar, but awesome.
Right.
So, you know, so be it. Well, just go through a couple of things, and we had a bevy of activity down there. Weston. So it's not a common name. Weston.
Right.
And summer can be, you know, if it depends time of year. Oh, summer events. Okay, well,
Right.
maybe, whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact
So-
that they were two friends and both their names were called out.
Right, and they both were scared, you know, and all this stuff. Oh, thank you, Shelly. She did say Weston for us. So anyways, we're down in the basement, and it's time to go. And upstairs rotation's over. So we're going back. I said, do you want me to go first, guys? Because they were already freaked out. The whole group was. Because we had shadows, names, you know, whatever. Things going on, not scratches. But so I can go first. No. We'll go first. You know, they want to be the last person down. I'm like, that's fine. Whatever. And I turned the lights on that hallway. Where the finished part, from the gift shop, there's a hallway that goes out by the bathrooms. That's finished. And then it goes into the unfinished part of the basement to go up the stairs. So we were walking down the hall. And then next thing you know, I hear, boo, jump out of the corner, and I see this person, and I swear to this day, I've told you this before, I thought it was Cody, and I'm thinking, God dang it, Cody, don't be scaring our guests, you know, because I thought he came down the stairs to, you know, come get us, and I was like, don't scare the guests, you know, I know we're trying to have fun, and I saw a full color apparition, you know, full body apparition, full color, so I'm like, dang it, and then them two jump back, and they trample over each other practically as Weston and Summer, they go flying back. And they're just screaming. And you guys heard it upstairs. You guys were up on the
Oh yeah,
second,
I was on my
third
way down
floor.
to you,
Uh-huh.
where I ended up meeting Cody, and
Right.
we both started heading down to you, and that's when.
You heard the blood curdling screams. I mean,
Yeah.
I couldn't. It was horror-esque movie, you know, like the perfect scream. You know, they were both let out the scream. Well, I think he screamed louder than she did actually.
Well,
And
I
they
think
go
he
trampling.
he was leading.
He was.
In front,
He was.
So.
He went flying back over everybody. And they, oh my God, you know, they're flipping out, and they're practically crying. I mean, he's practically crying. He's in tears. He's shaking, and I'm like, well, what's going on? You know, I heard this guy boo, you know, and I see this person. I'm like, God damn it, you know, I'm pissed. And it's not real, you know. I find out later on. We don't know what it is, but anyways,
Because Cody's coming down with me.
So where was Cody?
he was up
He
on
was
the main
upstairs.
level.
That's right.
He
'cause
got,
you guys split.
yeah,
didn't
we
you?
split our
He
group
went,
into half.
He went up to go, do that, and he was coming down to see you to make sure everything was good to go. But him and I heard the scream, so we bolted downstairs.
So I was like, hold on, guys, you know, I'll go first, you know, and they're like, oh my God, we got scratched.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? They both got scratched, and they had like 3 marks on their arm, like something to grab both of them. They had the same scratch that on the same arms. I don't know why. I can't explain to this day, but the fact that
Yeah.
you have the 2 people scared of the group, they have their name called to the spirit box, and then they get scratched and shoved and, you know, trample over each other. And I go, I'll go first, you know, we'll go upstairs. And they're like, no, can you get somebody to come down and get us? I'm like, well, yeah, okay. That's when I rated up to you guys, and you guys were already coming down anyways because you heard the screams. I was like, can somebody come down and get us? And you're like, what? So Cody does show up, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Cody's just coming down the stairs now, barely. He had to open the door to come downstairs. I'm like, Cody, are you coming down barely right now? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, get the hell out of here, because I swore that was you jumping out, scaring them, and I could hear the boo, and I could see it. But it was enough after that. They were visibly shaking when once we went upstairs. You know, that's when we were on the break, and they were like, we're done. I'm like,
because I remember coming down the stairs and finally getting there,
uh-huh.
and I was looking for you guys, and I saw both you and Leo knelt down, and they were up on that window ledge just shaking.
Yeah, they were shivering. Yeah, they were, like I said, genuinely frightened. And like I said, it was 100% authentic. Whatever happened in that moment. Right. It was nothing we put on, and obviously I would have saw the person do it, and I thought it was Cody, but Cody was upstairs. Well, so anyways, you know, fast forward a little bit, they end up leaving. So Jason and I go outside and make sure they get home and get in their cars, because they're teenagers. Their parents had to come get them. You know, I said, I'd let them know if you need anything, call us. You know, let me know if anything happens after this. Let me know, because I was worried about the scratches and things of that nature, and just the overall experience. So, you know, we're sitting there, and I can't remember if we were still on the same break, or we go and do some more investigating, go back. Somebody approaches me. I don't remember who it was. A couple of guests.
One of the our guests that actually grew up in there.
Yeah, she comes back and she's like, "Hey, you said somebody got scared downstairs?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, I started to go with a little bit of the story again. What happened? She looked me in the eye and she's like, "They used to put a haunted house on down there." I'm like, "What?"
For years to kind of bring in money.
That was their haunted house, and the fact that something says "boo" and jumps out, it's just like, holy crap.
It's like reliving the moment.
Yeah, it was just the most bizarrest thing. It's one of my favorite stories from that place. The fact I got to see it.
It makes you wonder if it was like a residual thing that triggered because you guys were coming up through there to leave.
Right.
If that was like a trigger moment for that.
Yeah, but
if
it was residual, it wouldn't just jump out at us and interact with us.
Well, not
so,
residual, but maybe just a trigger.
Yeah.
Because it was like something that was a constant basis.
Right.
For the guests to go up through there.
Yeah, because these girls, I mean, this group of people, the teenager I had, were genuinely scared the whole night. They couldn't, any noise, they're like, "Oh, jump," you know, they freak out. I'm like, that's just a car, calm down.
But last year, at our event last year, Summer actually came and faced her fear, and she walked away with some answers.
She did come back, Summer?
She sat down in the basement
and
actually used the dowsing rods and got some answers for herself.
Wow. Do you remember what any of that stuff was? And if it's too private, you don't have to say anything.
I think I'll just kind of like leave it for her.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just basically, you know, there was somebody there at the who was there, spirit or whatever.
Sure.
That was connected to her somehow.
That's right. Okay. So, I kind of remember some of that now that you say that. So.
Sorry, my voice is leaking out. But
no worries.
It was a great night, great fun and everything. But
yeah, it was like I said.
Looking forward to going back again.
We had a blast. Well, us as viewers getting to look in on the inside, outside looking in.
If you're at home, you can. Do this if you're free and able, and we'll set it up. We'll set it up and do it the same way.
That's kind of what we're planning on doing, hopefully, from here on, as much as we can.
We'll set up as many cameras as we can get the Wi-Fi set up to all those, to allow the viewers to see what we're seeing. So it'll be fun. Yeah,
I can't wait to go back and do the same thing over again. So let's take a little bit of a break right now. We can kind of regroup that's okay.
Because I do have a conversation I do want to talk to you guys about and pick your brain.
No.
It's going to be kind of a weird one, so.
Weird is good.
Yeah.
Yep, so before we go to break here, we will take a quick break. It won't be too long, so stay with us for part 2.
So, yeah.
And don't leave yet. Where are you going?
Oh, he got to. Why can't I?
He shouldn't have. He knows the rules. He's new. He's
old man.
I won't go there. Anyways. People at home, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. That way you can go live when we go live, kind of like we did last night. You won't know unless we post something, or we try to advertise as much as we can ahead of time. The reason why we didn't advertise too much is because we were still. This is the first time out. We wanted to make sure things were going to go better, work, and had a little trouble in the very beginning, but it just with the feed itself, but it worked out in the end. So, but like I said, make sure you hit that bell, share, subscribe, and same old song and dance. So, all right, we'll be back in just a few, guys. Now we're back. There we are. Hey, there it is. First timer. Thanks for once again tuning in to tonight's episode. Like I said, the guys and gals had a blast out in Nest City last night. We will be back in the future, definitely in June of next year for Old Settler Days.
2 nights.
2 nights.
Investigating
Yep.
2 nights there with guests.
Yep, and we'll post more about that coming up also too. And as far as I know, we have something in Dodge City still.
Yeah.
November 2nd.
As far as I know.
Okay.
I'm
Santa
going to
Fe
show
Depot.
up, and see what happens.
Yep.
They're actually really excited. I've talked to Carl a
Okay.
couple
Cool.
times, and they cannot wait for us to be there.
Awesome. So
Well,
that's November 2nd at the Santa Fe Depot.
helps if they contact me.
This isn't on air. Don't worry about that.
That's all right.
Um,
I love it there.
No, it's
just
a good
lot
time.
Of, some
Good
things
place.
have changed
Yeah.
there, so
yeah, ownership has changed hands, so that's okay.
but yeah, very cool that they're still having us, and I'm very honored because it's been a blessing that we get to have the depot.
Yeah, I mean
chance to work
the place
there.
is awesome.
We always say it always feels like home every time we go there. So
Yes, sir.
kind of Nest City feels like that too.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I'm looking at some stuff here.
All right, so you guys ready to change the tune
no.
here, like completely?
Change the tune?
Yeah.
Let me just turn the lights down and leave the room for you two, or what?
Yeah.
Anyways,
No, so I just you gotta kind of bear with me on the on the
Sorry.
point of view or thought process on certain things. So on the way home, having a conversation about the possibility of how spirits are coming about. So we all think you die, your spirit goes somewhere, one way or the other,
right?
whatever you believe. But there's so much about our own our own bodies, our own soul that in our brain that we don't know too much about, and science is still studying that. And then you have the sleep paralysis, where people claim they can't. They're asleep. They're paralyzed. But they're awake.
Yep.
And they're seeing things. Dan's
Right.
talked about it. I don't know if you've had it happen before.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah. And situations like that, it's something that is happening, and it's your brain,
Right.
or the power of something is causing that.
Yep.
They're still trying to do research on it.
The thing has always baffled me about that, and we're not really touching the base on that specific topic, but they say that there's always paranormal stuff that happens
Yeah.
during that time for some
Right.
reason. People have a lot of paranormal experiences during sleep paralysis,
Right.
which
Seeing
Go
shadow
figure.
figures and
Yeah.
stuff coming closer to
Yep.
them. Whatever,
Sure.
hearing things that they never heard before.
right.
So, but then there's also, I know you've researched it and you've probably heard about it. We've talked about it on the podcast before, but
So you're saying I probably didn't research anything?
no, I said we've talked about it
Ah.
before, and I know you.
Carry on.
Carry on.
You have to use the bathroom again. But so, astral projection.
Yes.
So, I know you can go on YouTube and do an instructional, video on how to do this, which I've never watched.
Seriously? It's on
Yeah.
YouTube videos?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
YouTube has everything. Same as Google.
True.
Look up anything. There's
Yep.
instructions for everything. But for astral projection, it is. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's basically
You're wrong.
you go into like a sleep, and you're able to your soul or your spirit can actually leave your body, kind of like an out of body experience.
Right.
Right.
Yep. I mean, easiest layman's terms, you're laying there, you see yourself. It's the whole story of you look down and you see your body laying there, basically, on a couch, on a bed, whatever.
Right. Which, a few years back, we had somebody who contacted us and was claiming that they had started doing this.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And while doing this, they were able to wander about and leave where they were. They weren't just standing there staring at the
Sure.
light. They actually ventured.
Yeah.
And they were seeing things that they didn't want to see, or they were being noticed by other spirits, per se, maybe. And then when they woke up, they're able to see things now and stuff like that. I asked, well, what do you want us to do? You
Right.
You kind of did this to yourself. And, do you want us to come and investigate your house? Are you being visited by stuff now and you want them out? The person
Sure.
didn't want any of that. I don't even know why he really contacted. He didn't
I
give
think
me a reason.
It's probably just one of those ones. Have you ever heard of this kind of a thing?
Yeah,
And is
basically.
it true? Is it possible? Well, anything's
If,
possible.
If you're doing it and you
Yeah.
think then apparently it is.
Yeah, anything and everything's possible.
So, with the human mind and how stupid people can be to themselves, whether you're damaging your body yourself by alcoholism, or you're in a traumatic accident
Sure.
and you have brain damage,
Right.
head trauma, all this stuff, and the brain is from then on damaged. Now, what if, say, like alcoholism, you damage your brain enough where it's killing your brain cells, and
Right.
I mean, you're at the top of, like, you drink any much more, you're going to die.
Sure.
Or you're on the verge of dying every time you do pick up a bottle of anything.
Right.
What if, because the brain is damaged so much that it's like firing it in a different way, that this person or individual is able or capable to, when they pass out in a drunken stupor or whatever, that their spirit or whatever is projecting somewhere.
Well, and first off, I mean, and I probably had the figure wrong. They say the human in general only uses 8% of our brain,
Right.
basically, allegedly. I don't know if
Right.
that's true. I mean, that's what scientists say. Like I said, the number's probably wrong. It could be 5%, whatever.
Right.
The thing is, we use a small, minute fraction of our brain. So you have a lot of mass up there. What else is up there, and what is it used for?
Right.
It kind of goes similar to what I always say is, and I just me, and I've had some people agree with me on that. People that know this stuff kind of loosely agree. The whole psychic thing. I think we're all psychic in a way, not psychic.
All empath.
Well, we're both psycho. Anyways, I think everybody has that tendency or capability to do so. Just people don't know how to use it
Right.
or unlock that part of their brain. So it's possibly that only a few small percentage can do this. Same thing with this. Is it possible that because you damage part of the brain, another part of your brain, or
Kicks
whatever
in.
is enhanced, or
Right.
and unlock something? I mean,
Right.
I don't know. It's possible. Anything's
So-
possible.
So the thing is like what I'm saying is, could it be some of the spiritual activity or paranormal activity that people are experiencing, especially family
Sure.
members or something? If that individual is having that happen unknowingly,
Right.
they pass out, they are almost dead,
Right.
and that spirit pops out and goes somewhere familiar,
Yeah.
searches out that familiar person, and that person thinks it's like paranormal activity going on in their house because they're
Right.
hearing whispering,
Yeah.
they're hearing talking, their stuff is moving, they're getting startled at night.
Yeah.
It awakens them and they don't know why, but it happens at a certain time, but maybe that certain time is always because that person is
Right.
doing that.
And kind of clear up a little bit for the viewer at home. Kind of like what you're saying is you got subject A. Well, person A. We'll call him A.
Right.
You got this person doing the drinking and the damage, whatever,
Right.
unlocking this other part of their brain, and they're affecting person B, which is what you're saying.
Right.
That even though this person over here, A, is drinking, we'll say, in this example, they're passed out, they're doing damage because they drink so much continuously that they maybe have partial brain damage or whatever.
It's killing off certain
Yeah.
brain cells, but at the same time, the brain is over and changed
Right.
to the point where maybe something else has been unlocked.
Right.
and they're able
Or
to
enhanced,
go.
yeah, yep. And then now person B is getting the results because person A is going over astro projecting over to somehow.
Kind of, yeah.
Not necessarily in the physical sense, maybe just in the spiritual sense, possibly.
Possibly.
And now person B is being affected by this.
Right.
Is it possible? I mean, it kind of goes back to the story that we've told a million times. and we'll tell it again here because it's a fascinating story to me.
Grant.
Jason and Grant, always, yeah. The Tap story, before they
Yes.
were famous,
Right.
one of their earliest cases is they were, that sounded weird, one of these earliest cases? One of the earliest cases they had, they went to a house where a woman was seeing this little child, a female spirit, constantly
Upstairs.
yeah. And they go to this location. They walk in. They see this child. They're like, "Holy shit, there she is!" And they're walking. She walks past them on the stairs, if I remember right, loosely.
They're walking upstairs. 'Cause
Yeah.
She's gonna take Jason and Grant up to show them the room
Sure.
where she sees the girl playing.
Right.
But right at that time, as they're walking, and Jason's in front,
Mm-hmm.
the girl comes running down the stairs and hits him right.
Right.
Into him. And that's like I think the first time he's ever had that happen.
Yeah. And it runs past. Is it run past him out the door or something like that?
Yeah, she was heading to go outdoors.
Right.
Because she starts off playing, comes running down the stairs,
Right.
and then later in the evenings, she is seen outside
Yeah.
running back in. And
That's
it's just
right.
A constant.
Because they were there for days, like 3 or 4 days
Yeah.
at a time, and they were seeing all this transpire over an amount of days. Where she wants, after she ran out, she wants back in later on after being outside.
Right.
Now, this is the part I forget because it's been forever since I read that book, even though I still have it of yours.
Oh, I know it.
Finish it up
I
because
bought the book again. So
I'm
to keep
sorry.
it.
Shit. Because you tell my Josh Gates bastard. Anyways,
I bought it for you, and you didn't.
That's
Did
right.
You read it?
Mhm.
Did you? Good.
you missed that comment about my Josh Gates book.
I
know.
found it.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah.
We both have moved since then, so whole shit.
I know.
Anyways,
No, I found it.
going back to the original subject here, you finished the story because they go to
Um,
talk to one of their
They
friends.
They go to talk to one of her childhood friends.
Okay.
And they're sitting in the living room discussing the case and kind of getting more of a background on
Right.
not coming from her. And they happen to look up on the mantle and they see a picture of 2 girls from back in you can tell it was many years ago.
Right.
And they're like, who's this in the picture? And she goes, oh, that's me and I forget what her name
Sure.
is, so I'll just call her Karen.
Yeah.
That's me and Karen. Back when we were like 8
Right.
or 9, and they're like, are you kidding me? Because which one's Karen? That one right there. And Jason and Grant is like, that's the little girl.
That's the girl they
That
just
was
saw
she.
ran past him.
So they go back, they sit her down, and they go over like, okay, we need to have a little bit more of a clarification
Right.
of what's going on.
Well,
Whose house is this
uh-huh.
and everything? And they come to find out this is where she grew up.
who? Karen or the other
Yes.
girl? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
And they're like, but you're alive,
And so is she, right?
but somehow this little girl is being projected out.
So a grown
Her-
woman.
Grown woman, alive.
Karen's still alive. She's older now. Not the original house owner that lives there now. Or not the house owner they're visiting because of the paranormal activity.
No, this is
Right.
the house that she grew up in.
Right, but it
This
was
is-
Karen's original house.
Yeah.
But now her friend
No,
Susan
no,
lives there.
No.
Or is it
no.
Karen's house?
Yeah, Karen's living in the same house.
Okay, that's why I was confused. Sorry,
yeah,
okay.
They went to another house to see
Gotcha.
her friend and interview.
Right, but I mean, the
Then they
original
went
house
back to
to
Karen.
investigate is
They
not
went
Karen's
back to
house,
Karen.
right?
Yeah, no, it is
Okay.
Karen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep talking. I'm like, fuck, I'm confused.
So Karen is living in the house that she grew up.
Yeah.
She got it from her dad after
Right.
he passed away and everything. But now she's seeing a spirit of a little girl inside
Oh,
the
okay.
house.
Okay, that's why I was confused.
So that's why they got Jason and Grant to come before they were ever famous and everything.
Yeah.
And, so now they went to see the friend and saw the photograph on her house.
I gotcha.
They go back and say, we need a little bit more story
That's
here,
right. Okay,
because
now.
we just saw your freaking picture, and that's the girl that we just saw come running down the stairs.
So she's
She
astro
was
projecting possibly.
this tragic moment, and she had totally blocked out what was happening. Her dad was abusing her.
That's right.
And she remembers this one night alone where she was playing in her room.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up to the bedroom. She escapes.
Right. She runs out the
Runs
door.
down the stairs, out the door.
That's right.
Later that night, with nowhere to go, she's begging him to
That's right.
to come back in.
Okay. Now it's more clear now. Yeah.
So it's like
So you haven't.
she's alive.
Yeah, she's still alive. She's there talking
but
to
this
him
traumatic moment is being projected by her somehow.
as a child,
Yeah.
and it's creating
Whether
paranormal
the
activity.
house stamped it,
Right.
whether she's projecting it herself, So how do you?
And it's not an intelligent haunting. This is
No.
residual because the child doesn't stop and look at him and then run past him, or oh my God, another man, and run back up the stairs. She just runs out the door.
So what do you think of a person who is like a complete, say drunken
Sure.
person
Is it possible that he's projecting or she's projecting
out of guilt or
over?
out of sympathy or just out of pure running to people that are familiar,
Right.
whispering to them, trying to communicate with them, but it's startling them. It's
I mean,
it's presenting itself as a haunting.
Rose, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's
weird.
kind of
It's
mind blowing.
weird.
Yeah.
It really
I mean,
is.
because Jason and I, and that's no offense to you, but we research this shit day and night, so
Yeah.
we're kind of versed in this crap. So I want to see what your thought process is on
You
this.
know,
Just right
I
off
could-
your head, yeah.
Right off my head, I think when you're sober, even though you're asleep, you're still in control.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Right.
And when you're in a drunken state, you're so relaxed.
Okay.
So
I agree with that.
I think you'd probably be more open to having stuff going on if you're in that state of mind.
So you think you can possibly project that outwards somehow as energy
Possibly
to
could, because
to
if
paranormal?
you
I mean-
possibly could.
The heck? Go ahead. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
One of the things I'm trying to understand with an issue that I had with my daughter about a month and
Weird.
a half ago is
Right.
the difference between a dream walker and what you guys are talking about. And
Right.
when Lena went over that with me, now I'm completely
I forgot
confused.
about that.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
you had that conversation
what?
with me.
Okay.
That's right.
So, my personal opinion on that would be, yeah. I mean, if it was already in you,
Yeah.
to be able to do,
Yeah.
you're so relaxed that your mind's not stopping you from doing something. So therefore, it might be easier.
Well, maybe if it wasn't like in them to begin with, but yet if you damage yourself so bad.
But do you damage your brain? And I don't want to sound stupid from.
I mean,
drinking.
alcohol-
I don't think it's your brain.
It
It's your.
kills your brain cells.
Well, if you
That's what they
if
say.
you, if you
Alcohol
have
does.
a point,
And you can't regenerate those
if
brain
you,
cells.
If you have like a 0.5 blood, that's like almost on the verge of dying.
Right.
Blood poisoning and stuff, alcohol poisoning and stuff, and you're at that kind of level, it's killing you, and especially if you do this on a constant basis,
Right. Not so much from a brain activity level, but
Right.
probably like cirrhosis of your liver, hardening your
Yeah,
liver,
your
that
liver
stuff,
and
or
everything else.
just your health deteriorating over time. And yeah, the brain cells are getting killed that you can't regenerate.
and I'm bringing this story because a friend asked me to
Yeah.
talk about it
Right.
because of something that is possibly happening.
And I never would approach that angle until you mentioned it to me
Right.
last night, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's a great possibility. Yeah, I mean, it makes
I had
somewhat sense.
I didn't even think about it either
Sure.
until just recently too, when I
Yeah.
was asked about it.
Right.
So, okay. So, talk about brain damage or head trauma.
Right.
I mean, everybody has brain damage at some point. But so we go back to Benton.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the same thing. God damn it.
Go back to
Yes.
Benton. This is before
Mhm.
you.
Yes. Yep.
But you've heard us talk about it,
Mhm.
where the son, basic recap of it,
Right.
he goes a little. It's almost like he's been possessed a little bit
Well-
by something inside inside this house.
And this is after the accident.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention that.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Well, my bad.
No. You're good. You're good.
Go
No,
ahead. No,
but
I'm just kidding
because
around.
we didn't find out until later
Right.
that he had a motorcycle accident.
Right.
So we're hearing this story that he went nuts. He got possessed. He was collecting weapons. I mean,
Good
the
God.
whole house, roof to floor, it was weapons galore, from automatic weapons, Uzis we found in a secret
Loaded
room.
Uzi, shotguns, knives, handguns,
Crossbows,
throwing
yeah.
knives,
Stuff halfway.
Chinese stars, you name it, it was there.
Some stuff halfway buried out in the dirt, out in the yard.
Like he was waiting for something to attack.
Yeah.
The zombie apocalypse, whatever. I don't know. Holy shit.
So, and he's attacking. Sorry.
Yeah, there's tons of people that like if in trauma, when they've hit their head or
Yeah.
they've been in
Yeah.
a major accident, and they will, or people that wake up from
Near death and all that.
Right.
No, it's you wake up from being in a coma.
Sure.
Right.
All of a sudden, you understand foreign languages.
Yeah, they've unlocked parts
All
of
of
their
a
brain
sudden,
that are
they
not
start
there.
speaking
Right.
in German, and you're
Right.
like, "What?"
So
You know?
are you thinking that astral projection is possible? I mean, in this case, or even in this
No,
case,
I'm talking
alcoholism.
about part of that 8%.
Oh, yeah,
6%
yeah,
of the
yeah.
brain
Unlocking
that
more.
use, Maybe
Being
somehow it unlocked, and all of a sudden, I mean, how does that happen? All of a sudden,
It's a
you know
phenomenon,
the whole
you know.
Japanese, and you can speak German, and I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of people, you know.
Yeah, I've read
I
stories.
watched a show one night where there were family members where they brought them home from a major issue, and it's like, you know, they wake
Mhm.
up from a coma and they bring them home,
Right.
and all of a sudden the next morning they, you know, their wife wakes up and they start speaking German, and they're
Right.
going, "Who are you? What is going on?" You know, and they speak. There's been some that even speak with a accent.
All of a sudden, right?
So
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, it's possible.
So how would I go about, or how could we go about in helping this friend who is having some strange things happening at home,
Right.
and it's involving not just her but a child
And from an outside source.
from an outside,
That's
and the
possibly-
more that, you know, I hear the stories, the more, you know, I'm kind of around this situation too,
Right.
to figure it out.
Yep.
It's certain times of the night, just bam, waking up.
Yep.
Can't stop, and it's becoming like a 2 week, 3 week,
Can't
4
stop
week
what?
Waking up.
waking up.
Waking up.
Same time every
And
night.
the child
same
is waking
reaction.
up at a certain time,
Yep.
and to the point where she has even put a camera in the room.
Right.
The child, 2 years old, almost 3.
Right.
There's no stirring about. It's almost like he is awoken like that.
Right.
He pops up, you know, and climbs out of the bed and is like looking around confused, and is looking around the room like
Yeah.
had heard something. And now she has also said that she has heard she thought maybe she was just, you know, in
Sure.
that sleeping state kind of thing, but something touching her ear and whispering to her.
Does she knows what it's saying?
Can't make it out.
Damn. Okay.
I know.
No, I mean
know.
that's okay. I just was
Because I
curious.
asked that too. I was like, well, can you remember? Can you recall anything
Mhm.
that's happening?
Right.
But it's a very strange, and you know, the more we have talked about the situation, the more this is where we're kind of coming to this conclusion that the person that's no longer in their life,
Right.
who is, well, a drunken
Sure.
idiot who is doing this to themselves. But I mean, it's bad. It's bad
Yeah,
to the point where this
I get
person
it.
has died almost several times from alcohol poisoning and stuff like that. Where it's, what if?
Has
Because-
the
because-
child ever drawn any pictures or?
These two.
Oh.
But still,
I know.
Sometimes
Well,
they'll-
okay.
that's
She
not a
said
bad starting
She woke
point.
up to him one night crying, and she went to the baby gate. He's standing at the baby gate. He's not looking at her. He's looking back, and he's pointing.
Oh wow.
He's pointing, and in a panic.
Like something's behind him or something's
Something's in
bothering
the
him.
room, or something's whispered to him.
Right.
Or something. Now,
Wow.
so he used to, when she was with him,
Sure.
said his excuse for drinking was the fact that he was seeing things that he didn't want to see.
The
so he
person
would
that was in
drink
their
himself.
life. Really?
Yeah, he would drink himself to get out of that, so he wasn't having to deal with what he was seeing,
What was he seeing? Did she say, or did they know?
like paranormal stuff.
So he was seeing this stuff.
That was his excuse, but she didn't take it very lightly. You know, I mean, it
Yeah.
was like an excuse.
Maybe he's hallucinating.
Yeah,
Wonder- it could
schizophrenic
be.
or something. But
Could
you know,
be.
that's a
It'd be
possibility.
interesting if something happened to the child at a certain time, kind of like what you were just talking about. That lady had an issue
Sure.
that happened and was
Traumatic
running out.
experience. You're right. When
When I
Right.
took some psychology classes years ago
Yeah.
for kids
70s.
that were young like that,
Yeah.
that they couldn't get anything out of because they don't know until it's happening.
They want you to draw
They
pictures.
would, they would actually put them in rooms and
Right.
videotape them
Yep.
with a sand pit
Mm-hmm.
and there's like hundreds of different toys in the sand pit.
Right. Where
And
they
will
migrate.
focus on something and then all of a sudden start playing it out and they can watch on video.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting. So maybe that's something that you could
Right.
start doing, because they found out, like the little kid in this one was playing with a snake, and the snake was hurting a stick figure.
Oh, right.
And they kept going, what is the snake? It just like bad.
Yeah.
And come to find out, it was the dad that was abusing the mom, and the child was seeing it, but they couldn't tell because the child's too young.
Right.
Sure.
But
Right.
he would play with stuff.
Right.
But if this person hasn't been around in like a couple of years,
That's crazy.
yeah. But just the whispering, the voices, the feeling of walking into a room, her bedroom, and thinking that feeling that we've got before, you're gonna walk in and you feel like you're gonna see a figure.
Yeah. You're not alone.
You're not alone,
Right.
and it's like, what if it's like something like that? Because he's
That's
still
interesting.
around.
Right.
He's still out there somewhere, she says.
Mm-hmm.
But what if in this drunken state that he's in, constantly, drugs, alcohol, whatever,
Right.
if it's affecting, what if he is claiming that he saw things, growing up, and he drinks to like block that out,
Sure.
which listening to it sounds like an excuse, but
Right.
because there's other ways to deal with it, and as we all know, there's other ways to deal with the paranormal. And
Yeah.
you don't have to drink yourself to a drunken state to figure it out. But
I wish I could talk to that person just to get an idea as to what they were seeing, because I mean that may clue in a little bit more as to, not that we're never going to talk
would
to this
that
person.
embed into the child?
I don't know. I mean, it could be a million different angles. This person is connected to that child because is he the father? I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe he was trying to. I don't know. This can get really deep, but you can possibly make amends for all the stuff he's done wrong for not being a part of this child's life now, or different things. Basically, I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a clear answer for that. Maybe he's just saying, "Oh, I don't want you. I don't want to." I mean, I don't know what kind of connection did he have with his father? Is he trying to say, "I'm going to be a better"? I don't want you to go through the same thing as I went through as a child, or whatever. I mean, who knows? Maybe he sees himself as that child and as a new start. I mean, who knows? It could be a million different angles.
Maybe you could get Lena to visit with the child.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And see if there's
I thought
something
about,
attached or
contacting her
something.
just to see,
Yeah. Right.
well, contacting the friend to see if she'd even be willing to do that,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, that's just an interesting story. I mean, because even in some of the stuff we've been involved with, some of the cases we've seen, poltergeist, it always centers around one person in the house usually,
Yeah.
and
Well, now it seems to be hitting both of them.
right. I mean,
so
but,
it's like, it's weird.
well, like with the case with Granola, that was a poltergeist. We feel strong
Right.
enough to say that's what it was. It could
Right.
move things. It could do things. It centered around a female child that happened to have been abused, unfortunately, by a relative. And all of a sudden, this person started seeing this, apparition of this little girl that was to her frightening,
Right.
But it was just the fact that she could see this thing, and this thing was everywhere she went. She followed her. At first, it was inside the house. Then it started going to places like Walmart and different things. When I first heard the case, because it got bounced around, a couple of different teams didn't want to take it for some reason, for whatever reason. It's neither here nor
it was
there.
kind of a dark case.
Well, that's part of it. Part of it's politics. They didn't want to be involved with it because it's just like, we only do businesses. It doesn't matter. But
yeah.
anywho, luckily it landed on our doorstep, and it became one of our most, to date, one of our most famous cases, one of our best cases. I mean, it affected me personally when I got shoved. So, I mean,
You were there from start to finish.
yeah, and I went to every case. Every time we went there, we went back multiple. They wanted us back every weekend. That's how intense
know.
this case was. And it was like, it's a 2-hour drive every time. That's not that easy for us to pick up and leave every weekend, especially when we have other cases going on. As much as we would like to help, and we try to help, we give counseling over the phone or whatever. But the fact was that yes, there's something seriously happening. But when I first heard it, when she told me this girl was saying, this girl was abused by a family member, my first initial thought was it possibly she's just imagining this friend as a coping mechanism kind of a thing, where I have a friend now that's helping me get through this basically, and no, we were in there and we were faced with something I'd never been faced before at that time, where it was pretty strong. Every time we went there, the girl was never there, and we had so much interaction. You know, we never met the child. I don't know. I've never met her to this day. Any of the children in that house, and they all had some kind of interaction, but it all centered around one person. Same thing with this. I mean, they say poltergeists, project. I mean, kind of focus on one person. It projects outwards enough to where you see things moving in the house. They had Bibles missing. I got shoved, whatever. A couple of us got shoved, scratches,
bruises.
yeah, the growling, whatever. Same thing with this case. It could be the similar thing, but this person's doing well. Once again, she wasn't there that night with us,
Right.
but the activity was still happening without her outside the house.
Have they tried, like, for instance, your friend, the child's 2 or 3, so what time's the child going to bed? Because I'm assuming it's...
Like 9 or 10, because, I mean, he's
Not
like...
terribly late, but
Not terribly.
just-
I mean, usually about 9:30 is
Right.
when I think she says he goes to bed.
And what time is it? 2, 3 in the morning?
She said it started off at like 1 o'clock. Just wake up screaming, and it's like she says it's like a blood curdling scream.
wow,
It's not. Well, that's what we thought too.
right?
Um,
Because there's such things
But he
as
goes to
night
bed.
tremors.
but she said he goes to bed happy. Like
Yeah,
all ready to go. It's bedtime, so it's off to bed. It's not like a fear.
right. You're not scared to go to bed.
But something's startling him to a point where he's like, can't comprehend awake to sleep.
A couple of questions I have is what's the child's demeanor when they wake up? Not necessarily that moment, because obviously they're terrified or whatever. The next
Like
morning,
like a usual.
do they make reference to last night? Hey, I know it's 2-year-old child. Like the boogeyman will say it was a scary man or whatever you want to call it,
I think she says it's just
or just everyday normal life.
but because she'll pick him up
Mm-hmm.
and put him back to bed, and he'll because he's tired, he goes back to sleep.
Wow.
But it's like he wants him, or he wants her.
Right.
She
Needs
says that
comfort.
the brothers or sisters will go to get him and try to calm
Oh.
him down, and he freaks out even more because it's not mom.
Wow.
So if anybody else comes near him, it's like,
Only one person can save him. It's mom.
and that's mom.
Hmm.
So therefore, she'll put him to bed, and he'll clutch,
Sure.
go to back to sleep, and she'll tuck him in. Life is good again.
Wow.
But now it's starting to be like I think she says it's been about 2 weeks now, and it's like about 2:54, 2:45, somewhere right around there, like clockwork. Just
Every day, huh?
yeah.
Wow.
And if he sleeps somewhere else, like the grandparents' house or the friend's house, or the aunt, sleeps fine.
doesn't happen.
No.
Weird. That brings up an
Yeah.
extra interesting
Yes.
factor to the matter, because why is it only occurring in that location? I
Right.
mean, is it because who knows why?
Well-
They didn't share this place at all, right?
No,
Okay,
no.
right.
But I think he's like snooping to find out where she is now.
Oh, okay. So it didn't end on good terms apparently. So
Well, he abandoned,
Oh.
disappeared.
and now he
Now
Weird.
he's like just texting and finding out where she is
right.
and stuff. But at the same time, all this weird stuff is happening in the house.
That's crazy.
And knowing how he is, and because the court, the change of address and stuff, so certain things may be
Oh.
coming, and
Right.
and she has found out that more DUIs, more this and that, and more trouble. So he's not stopping on the aspect of being a
Right.
complete shithead. He's
Yeah. It's getting worse. Sounds
he's
like.
causing this kind of stuff to happen. But it's the fact that all this weird stuff is happening to the two
Yeah.
of them that is.
Did it only happen?
It's just happened, I guess she
Like
said,
recently?
since she's moved into this place.
Oh, she moved into a new place.
Yeah, she moved
Oh,
into a new place.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird. That makes no sense then, because I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, it doesn't make sense the fact that I can see if it was the same house they shared or something
it's like-
possibly, or
No, yeah,
But,
this
yeah,
totally new place,
brand new
a new
place.
start for her and her kids,
wow.
and life was going great, and then all of a sudden, like, his text messages start coming back.
So
After changing her number.
yeah,
I got
So,
a
go ahead. Sorry.
question real quick. Guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I was looking some stuff up here, and I'm sure they've looked stuff up as well, but they say that it's called night terrors for toddlers.
Right.
And it usually occurs within 3 or 4 hours after going to bed.
Right.
And it says sometimes when they wake up, they may not even know who you are.
Sure. It's like sleep paralysis for a child, basically.
But it says that it'll gradually go away.
Right.
So
That was gonna be
it'll
my
interesting
question.
to see if it continues.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because that's what I said just a couple minutes ago. I said it's like it could be night terrors, but my question is, what does she think is paranormal or leading to the whole astronomical astral projection? How'd that come about?
Her thought process, you know, not having this be her only child she has, you know, she's dealt
Okay.
with the whole, you know, night terrors and stuff with other her boys and stuff.
They've all had it before
Yeah.
too.
And they say that it's it's
Right.
Hereditary.
yeah.
Really?
Now, she's gone through that, and it wasn't anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
And given the fact that the father, who hasn't been in the picture since basically he was born,
Okay.
just becoming a drunk, falling asleep, you know, passing out and almost in a death state, has had the ambulance called on him
Wow.
so they can revive him, take care of him, stuff like that. So like near death experience, but also the fact that he claims that he was seeing things and drinking
bizarre.
himself stupid so he doesn't have to see it. But it's the fact that she's having weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
Noises in the house, movement in the room, in her bedroom, plus
Wow.
in the kid's bedroom, voices, you know, kind of like whispering and stuff
Yeah.
like that in her ear, a loud hey in her room that she can't describe any other way, but it was a disembodied voice.
Wow.
It's just weird because nothing like this has ever happened before, but now it is.
Weird. You said, I remember you saying earlier that they put a camera in the room.
Yeah.
Are they capturing anything on this camera when this is going on?
Right around the time she showed me one clip of it,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing flying around the room, dust, bugs, or whatever, but there is like an orb or so that will shoot across the room or come. There's one that actually shot from over by the bedside and shot almost in a wave toward the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and about that time, the kid pops up.
Oh, wow. Did they hear anything else in the room on the sound?
Don't
or
hear nothing like
just
that.
the fact is
Just that
possible
there's
orb?
like a weird anomaly in there.
Hmm.
And you know, by looking at it, I've seen enough orbs. I didn't see fluttering like a bug.
Right.
It was like a long light,
Weird.
about so
Like
big
a light rod
that
kinda?
shot, and
Weird.
it's weird.
Yeah, I
But
mean.
she sent me the video, and I'll share it with you guys
Oh, okay.
after the show.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I just
bizarre.
kind of wanted to get your minds working here to see if we can
Yeah.
help her out a little bit and
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out any answers and stuff. I mean,
Definitely love to
it's
help.
weird, yeah. I mean, we talked about the night terrors because that was my kind of thought too.
Yeah.
But I don't have kids, so I don't know.
I've
Right.
never had any of my kids have it.
I don't think mine have either. Ever.
They say, but what's odd though is if you do more research on it, which what I was doing, it usually happens within a couple hours. Most of the doctors, and yours is longer than that.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
like
varied.
4 hours, 5 hours later.
Yeah, it's varied. It's not like it started
like a
early one
specific
time and then it went
time.
later.
But I wonder if it's around the time that he's.
Oh, yeah, that's bizarre. I don't know.
I don't know. It was just an angle that
Yeah.
she thought about, and then I thought about, just like you with the Jason
Yeah.
and Grant thing. The idea, the possibility.
It's definitely something I'm curious about, and I'd like to possibly explore that angle and see what we can set up,
Yeah.
do some experience possibly, if
Yeah.
she's willing to have us in the house. That is,
Right.
because I mean we're always here to help. I mean we're not scientists, we're not doctors, but we're we've seen quite a bit of stuff doing this field
Well,
over the years, and
you
we've seen
guys
cases
have-
like this before.
You guys have kids. You guys have family. You know, so it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I've never had.
You know,
I couldn't imagine waking up.
so
seeing your
you guys would
kids
be-
so
Right.
distraught.
right, but you guys would
Yeah.
have that feel for what a parent would be going through.
Yeah,
in
of
such a
course.
way.
Yeah.
Sometimes do you know how long it lasts? They say in this stuff it's 30 minutes. Sometimes it can happen.
She'll pick him up, she says, and there's been a few nights here and there where it's really hard to put him back to sleep, but other times, it's like he's exhausted too from
Right.
just the screaming and that terror. But seeing the video that she did send me, where he just like pops up out of bed,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's no waking up trying to like me, I'll wake myself up trying to reposition and
Sure.
but the kid just pops up out of bed like
Wow,
an instant, like somebody just went over and grabbed and was like, hey.
that's crazy.
I know.
And like you said, there was a night, some kind of type of anomaly
Yeah.
after that, but no sound. Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, could that be the body, the spirit leaving the room, going back to the body that's
be.
drinking? I mean, who knows?
Could be. I mean,
It's an interesting angle, no matter what.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I mean, it's obviously it's possible. I mean, I know Jason and Grant. I mean, everybody knows who they are. So are
Right.
they credible? I don't know what I'm trying to say. A source. I mean, I feel like they are. They've been doing this as long as we have.
Right.
And
regardless of their relationship nowadays, but
yeah,
back in
Or-
the day, I still they're my favorites.
yeah,
Next
especially
to you
if
guys.
Fruitsville. Yep, checks in the mail, right? You're gonna pay us off. But no,
I'll keep you guys informed.
yeah, I
as
definitely
much
wanna-
as she'll keep me informed on it.
I would love to follow up on this case. Yeah.
But I just want to get you, the viewers, any ideas or something like that. It's
crazy.
a weird angle.
Yeah.
To think about.
I mean, it's possible. I think astral projection is definitely possible. A lot of people have claimed to have experiences, and maybe it's what we do sometimes when we have those out-of-body experiences, or deja vu, even for that matter. I mean, is it something we've done
Right.
before? Who knows?
Those deja vu moments, yeah.
It's possible. Yeah, if people at home, I'd love to hear your guys' point on this at some point. Even though we're getting ready to end the show here, but yeah, definitely let us know. Comment. The video will still be posted up after this. We'd love to hear your guys' point of view, or
Right.
you can definitely reach out to us if you've had any experiences with this or anything you can add to the case, because it's
'cause-
interesting.
Yeah, she's single mom, and I think she'd like to know some answers with that.
That makes it worse. Yeah, being a single mom and
Yeah.
have your child in this
Thinking
state.
life was good, and then this starts
Right.
happening, and weird things happening around her now too.
Right.
So,
It's possible. Maybe this person is projecting
and
outward.
it's only, I think she says like around nighttime.
Wonder why night versus all the time. Yeah, like you said, maybe that is part of
I
it.
don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe that's part of
That,
it.
that it's just something that she, I never thought about before, but now
Right.
is possibly thinking. Now, I mean, she's heard our stories.
Oh
She's
yeah.
heard me talk about stuff, and she's, watched the podcast
Oh, cool.
and stuff. So,
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. No, I think it's possible. I feel like, I mean, just from a personal standpoint, I don't think I've ever had personal experience with it from my angle,
Right.
but I mean, we've had enough cases that kind of mirror some of this stuff, so it's interesting. So, wow, that was a quick 2 hours, man.
Wow.
It was definitely a fun one. Like I said, if you joined us late, the first half of it we talked about last night's investigation, the live ghost hunt at the Nez County Bank. We will go back in the future here for 2 nights, and definitely next year in June. Maybe sooner, you never know. 'Cause sometimes we get asked to go back just for fun or whenever. Things pop up all the time. But if you do want to come out and join us, once again, November 2nd, as a renowned Santa Fe Depot down in Dodge City, Kansas. That place is incredible too, just like last night's. You won't be disappointed. You're sure to have some kind of paranormal experience there, because every time we're there, we've had something go down. We'll talk off air about that. So, and if I don't, I'll definitely be down here in the studio with the live cameras again and stuff. So we'll make it happen again. So tonight, this is the end of it. So make sure people at home, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications on. That way we go live, you go live with us. Hit that little bell, hit those like buttons. Spread the good word about us. We're here for you as much as we can. We're also here to have fun. So anytime we can have fun, we'll do
You
it.
coming back?
So-
again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for Roth coming back, man. It's been a
I'll be
while.
back.
It's been about
I'll
a
be back.
couple months. So
All right.
Like
Still-
the Backstreet Boys.
still trying to get that corporate sponsorship from Bob and Luigi's, but he doesn't get the hint. So no, I'm just playing. At least throw me a pizza slice, something, dude. Right on, man. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining in tonight. We'll see you. Should be next week again, as far as
You
I
bet.
know.
Yeah.
Hell, I don't know. We'll make it happen. We'll do something fun. So, all right, guys. See you guys later. Thank
All right.
you.
See ya.